Okay, folks, we are live on YouTube momentarily. I will begin recording. We are now recording. And I am going to make Ms. Constable the host. And I believe that's it for me. Just holler if you need a hand. You just need to unmute yourself, Jen.
Thanks, Dave. One question, should I be able to see, okay, am I admitting people?
Yeah, you'll see them on the right, people waiting to be admitted, depending on how your screen is set up. Right now, it's just the two of us. I don't know where everybody else went.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I don't see anybody.
They were here literally moments ago.
Okay, I see them in the waiting room, so let me start admitting, I guess. So they're okay. There we go. All right, good evening, everybody.
Oh,
It looks like at this time we have everybody admitted. Nobody's in the waiting room. And everybody is muted. Just as a quick reminder, if just to stay muted if you're not speaking. If you end up muted during the hearing and need to speak, if you could just raise your hand, either literally or your virtual hand, we can take it, or the chair could take it from there. I guess I'm going to turn it over to Brian.
I'm uncertain why I stood in as the chair for the last meeting temporarily. I think I did see the agenda, but it seems to me that the first order of business is going to be should be organizational ones for the board, since we don't have a president, a vice president, or a clerk selected at this time. And I'm just looking to see who's here.
So it looks like we are presented with a quorum. Mr. Kenny, what do you suggest we do with our 4 members present? You're muted. Oh, there
Okay. Yeah, so if you have 4, you can move forward. Just, I would just vote, we just need to pick you basically just need to vote a chairman who's going to handle, is the chairman not present tonight?
We haven't voted for one yet. We haven't.
Okay, so somebody can make a motion as to who's going to be chairman. You guys can vote that. You just kind of want to vote a chairman, somebody who's just going to run the meeting.
So even if we come out to 2 and 2, we're still going to vote. We're still going to move forward.
2 and 2 with what?
Well, I'm saying, like, if there's 4 members present, let's just say we
Right.
come to a lock-in vote of 2 and 2. How do we move forward with that decision then?
If it's a tie vote, then it basically doesn't pass.
Okay.
So you got a 7-member board, you got 4 members present, so you do have a quorum, so you can move forward with the 4.
Okay.
So Attorney Kenny, I was going to bring it up once the meeting started, but the issue I have is Ms. Kidd should really recuse herself tonight from participating in any of these hearings, because my client is actually seeking a certificate of eviction before this board for Ms. Kidd's home. So I believe that there's an issue if she participates in the hearing tonight.
Okay.
Mr. Laverty, I agree. I will be recusing myself when it comes to the matter of my specific situation and certificate. I believe, and please, Mr. Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong, I could participate in the rest of the matters, just not the one specifically for my home.
So yeah, obviously that's something for the Massachusetts Ethics Board. In terms of ethics, that goes to the individual. It doesn't really go to the town. So Ms. Kidd, that actually goes to you. So have you had any contact with the Massachusetts Ethics Board about this prior to this meeting?
No, I know that when there was an issue previously, I did recuse myself for that one specific instance. If you would prefer for me to not participate, that's fine. But as far as I was told, I believe that I'm okay with everything else except for that one personal matter.
Okay, so yeah, again, so it's not really in dealing with that. I've dealt with ethics before, and they basically won't talk to like me as town council. Like if I call them about you or somebody else, they'll say, no, you got to have the person call. So unfortunately, I can't really give advice on it because the Mass Ethics Board is the one that would, again, like if there was a violation, it wouldn't go against the town. It would go against potentially you or somebody. If somebody made an ethics complaint, that's who it would go against potentially. And it's not, I'm not saying it's a violation, I'm not making any determinations that it's a violation. But it sounds to Attorney Laverty, it sounds to me that you are objecting to Ms. Kidd being involved in any of the voting of not just her eviction, but the other evictions and the petition. Is that correct?
That is correct, because the rent control ordinance by itself has some ethical issues. They have an owner representative, a tenant representative, but we can't do anything about that. That's how the ordinance passed. But I do think it's problematic when you barely have a quorum and Ms. Kidd sits on the board and she also has an action against her. I don't think it's just enough that she not participate in her own hearing. I believe it's straight across the board, whether it be the rent adjustment petition or the 9 other certificates of eviction. I just think it's problematic. I don't want to go through this whole thing and this thing gets thrown up. We start again.
Right. So are you proposing, we could, potentially like a short continuance?
I don't think we really have any choice where there's only 4 members. If there were, all 7 members and she recused herself, I don't see an issue, but you don't have a quorum once she gets recused.
Right. Well, yeah. It sounds like no matter what, we wouldn't have a quorum on at least one of the matters. I guess, and again, this would go to the board, and again, I'm not sure whether we have a chair, but that's something. Would the board be amenable to continuing the matter a short continuance. Obviously, we want to wrap this up as soon as possible, but potentially continue it to a later date in order to make sure that we have enough that we do have a quorum again. And at the same time too, Miss Kidd, that would give you a chance to contact ethics yourself,
Mhm.
and that would give you a chance to contact them and just let them know kind of the situation, and they should give you an opinion on that. So I don't know how the board feels about that option, about potentially continue it, maybe till next week or whatever, and I don't know, does anyone know why or where the other board members are tonight?
Yeah, Attorney Kenny, can I raise one question? We have 1, 2, 3 callers on the call that are not identified.
Okay.
Brian, are you certain that they're not board members? We can request to identify themselves. So we have one that's listed as Samsung SMJ327B. If you could identify.
None of those look familiar to me. IBN org. Emily Garrity. I don't think if I had a name Emily written down from the last meeting. There was some public people. Obviously, it's a public meeting. Kayla had spoken before in the meeting. She's a resident. The other 2 numbers I'm looking at that end in 917 and 698. I had no idea whose numbers those are. And I mean, they could unmute and speak up and identify themselves. It'd be helpful if they were board members, but just calling in.
Right, okay. Looks like they're not, so I guess we don't know.
Well, I would just like to say, I agree with Mr. Lavity. I think that he is correct. I think that under the advisement of Mr. Kenny, that we should maybe push this forward. That will give me time to make sure that I go through the Ethics Commission. I have no problem with that at all, because I think that we do need to kind of wrap this up, get it done, and to be able to move forward. I'll make a motion for that as well.
I'll second it.
Sue Sullivan, it looks like she third, and Deb,
Third.
thank you.
And okay. So it sounds like we're in agreement that we need to put this off to the next earliest availability. I know that we had expressed a desire for face-to-face. It's always better, but with the continuous evolution of COVID and meeting space and conflicts of scheduling at town hall, this is probably going to be the best way for us to be planning on meeting, and the most maybe expeditious as well. So if anyone else would like to say anything, maybe Jen, you might want to close this out.
Sure, I'm sorry, so
That's okay.
you're ready to adjourn?
Yeah, that's what all indications are, that you've got pretty much a unanimous vote to push it, hopefully not too far off. We have other meetings scheduled already, in February. So if we could get this in January, I guess that's really up to WRPS and whatever magic that you can do at town hall to help make that happen. It'd be appreciated.
Jen, do you want to pick a date now, or maybe we should just wait to make sure everybody can make the meeting?
That's probably best, Chris, because we need to re-advertise for the
Right.
consecutive weeks. So Brian, that's going to push us out of January into at least the first full week, kind of the second week of February at
Right.
best.
We've already got a meeting that second week, I believe.
Right. Can we add this to that agenda? It's the Leisurewood's, it's Deb speaking. I didn't know if we can add the Hillcrest in with the Leisurewood's meeting, or is that something that needs to be separate?
I think we could put it on the same. the other thing too is if it's already been advertised for tonight, and
Right,
if it's already been advertised, so if we did a motion, if the board did a motion to continue it, we'd certainly publish the notice, but I don't think we'd have to re-advertise it. The advertisement's really for the initial hearing.
I know we've had several continuances, and
This one has been continued before.
Yes,
yes,
Okay. And you guys are re-advertising each time?
it's been 8 weeks since we met last about this.
Okay.
Of course, the holidays and such, but still.
Okay.
yeah,
So we had looked for a 2-week post continuance, and it turned into 8.
right. Our last meeting was 11:30.
Was it the 30th?
30, yeah.
Oh, why did I have the 9th on? Okay, I'm
Do you,
mistaken.
do you remember when you continued the last time? Did you guys actually
Sure.
pick the date? Do you remember if you picked the date or you just kind of said,
I don't think we picked the date that evening, did we?
No,
I don't think you
Okay.
did.
Is it possible to meet in person at all? I mean, these Zoom meetings seem to be a little difficult for everyone to gather. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I do know they are having some in-person meetings at the town hall.
Yeah, at this time, it's up to the individual boards and committees. So it would be up to this board if you wanted to meet in person. And Chris, I'm not sure if they technically opened the hearing where they don't have a quorum, if it could then be continued.
yeah, I mean, we kind of would have they'd have quorum to open the meeting. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Laverty. I think Attorney Laverty is just objecting to Ms. Kidd voting on the petitions and certificates for tonight. I don't know that he would object to a procedural motion such as
No,
continuing.
I wouldn't have any objection to any procedural motions. I mean, we're trying to work in the right direction, get this
Right.
right as possible. No, there's really no substantive matters.
Right.
Regarding the procedural issues.
Yeah, we're
I mean,
just
other
it's
than that-
basically just trying to pick a new date. I mean, that's, we're just obviously trying to get it heard. So
Right. I mean, I just don't want to put it off another 8 weeks. And if that means it's something in person, I would prefer to keep it at Zoom. Just for that very reason, this has been going on and on and on.
Right.
So did somebody say something about in 2 weeks there's a meeting?
So the date for the Leisurewood rent increase was targeted for February 11th.
Okay.
I don't know if that was confirmed, but that was the date that was proposed.
Right,
Okay.
Should we shoot for February 2nd for us then? It's like a week and a half difference between the two.
So I'm actually not available on February 2nd, unfortunately. I mean, I'm available February 8th, February 10th.
The 8th would be fine if that works for you, it works for me.
February 8th looks okay for me.
yeah, I mean, it works for me. I don't see the two of them really meshing well with the number of representatives and attorneys, and who knows what other people might be calling in with any comments.
That's a good point.
On Zoom or in the room up at Town Hall.
Yeah.
So there could be a lot of conflicting crosstalk of things.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So I'm all in favor of, I don't care if we have two nights in a row myself, it's, or if the hour has to be a little bit later, closer to a regular meeting time to make sure that we have a quorum and we have a full committee present. I'm open to that too, so. So may I leave that, I guess, unfortunately, Jen, maybe throwing that onto you to see what you may be able to do from Town Hall's end. And I'm not certain whose responsibility is to reach out to RPS. So.
Or if you have a date that you're agreed upon and you'd like to do it again on Zoom, just let me confirm that and I can set make sure the meeting is set up for you. Or if you're choosing to meet in person, if you want to let me know that, I can confirm a room either in town hall or at the high school.
I'm on, the 8th works for me either way.
You want to do, you guys want to vote the 8th at 5:30 again, 5:30 PM at the 8th on Zoom?
Can do that.
It works for me.
So
That's fine with me.
Okay. You guys just,
Myself as well.
okay, if you just want, somebody just wants to make a quick motion and you guys vote that and we'll be good.
I'll motion for it to be on the 8th.
At
I'll
five-
second.
Second.
Oh.
We get an army of seconds. And no discussion. Everybody's
good.
on.
All eyes.
I think everybody's on board for the 8th.
the 8th
Okay.
at 5:30.
All right.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
All
everyone.
right. all
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get this done tonight, but yeah, take care. God bless.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Yep.